Hey, we're here with Alan Pokorny with the Benn Badgers. They went up against Central City tonight. Kind of got to the downside of that duel. It was the final score was 48-30. But a great matchup, Coach, between Central City and Bennington. Two great programs.
Yeah, when last year I noticed that they were looking for a first duel out of the season on a Thursday, and we were looking for someone too. And as soon as he posted that out there, right away I jumped all over that because, in order to compete for state titles, we're going to have to wrestle teams like that. And we don't see them anytime during the season, so I thought, why not schedule them and get to see their style of wrestling and get some good matches too.
Yeah, and what did you think about the overall performance for your kids? I mean, I know you guys lost by 18, but really that's only like a 9-point swing, and give us some ideas what you thought about how they performed tonight.
Well, I was proud of how our guys battled out there. That was the main thing. Going into it, looking at scores and all that, projecting out how I thought things would happen. Actually, we were a little bit closer than I expected. Not a lot, but a little bit. Unfortunately, there was a couple matches I thought maybe we can pick up some upsets, and we didn't quite get it done, but we battled real tough. At 120, Michael Curzon battled real tough, and make a couple mistakes in there, and he gets beat. But that's what happens with good wrestlers. I mean, you make a mistake, they're going to beat you. So, and that's why we want to wrestle these guys and this type of competition, like at Boys Town and going up to Woodbury Central and all that. We see these tough people, and when we make those mistakes, we know how to correct them and we fix them. We had a couple of other places I was real proud of our guys. At 138, we have a kid there that's never wrestled varsity before, and he's projected early in the year. We were thinking he'd be second string, but the way he wrestled, it may be a battle for that varsity spot. He battled the state medalist real tough, and again, just gets beat by just a little bit better wrestler. But you never know. Keep wrestling hard and working hard in the room.
And what do you think about your team as it goes forward? Now that you kind of have a better idea of the other teams and where kids are going to go, I mean, where do you think your team can be, or what's your focus going to be for the rest of the year?
Well, our focus really is to create some more depth. We got some quality individuals. We got 4 quality individuals that have proven themselves so far at the state level. We need to build more depth from there. And we have a lot of young kids, freshman and sophomore age, and even some juniors in there that have not a lot of experience. They started maybe in 8th grade or something like that, and we just got to get them over that hump of being able to compete at this level. We think that they're talented, but it just takes time. And a couple of those are just about there. And that's what we got to do. Got to get those guys over that hump, and then we'll be a little bit more solid. We're going to have a tough district to come through, and if we can get them through that district in the state, then we can see what happens from there.
Now, looking ahead, this weekend you have the Bennington Invite. What are some key matchups there, team-wise and individual-wise?
Well, that one is hard to call. I've been looking at that a lot lately. I haven't sat down and analyzed the rankings and all that. We're just starting to get the rosters in. So, I'll probably be able to look at that here in the next day or so. But it's really hard to look at it. It looks like there's not a super stud team out there like some years in the past. But it seems like there's 3 or 4 real solid teams, and then all the other teams have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, better than average and even great wrestlers. You get a team like Aquinas, they always have a stud. They're right. Coming up, and who knows how they're going to be after winning the state championship in football and having less than a week of practice. So, but they'll have some studs, and Fort Calhoun always has a couple studs in there.
And Boys Town, they
always do. So you don't know. Elkhorn South, and we'll see how they are. They may possibly be one of the deeper teams. and maybe not have the super studs on the team, but they might have the depth. So they might be a team that might really contend for the title. And Creighton Prep, the varsity's going to be here, and being a Class A school, a lot of times that's one thing they have is depth. So that's something that we're going to have to overcome. It really is going to be the team with the most depth, because I don't think any team is just loaded with a lot of studs. Everybody has their share. And as for individual matches, I don't know. Until I see all the rosters and see where people fall, I couldn't answer that for sure.
Yeah, you always do a great job with your team. I was just talking to Darren Garfield after the matches were over with, and he was real impressed with some of the guys that he saw tonight, guys that you really have never really heard of. And I just commented, that seems to me, you get that out of Bennington, out of Allen's kids a lot. Some, you may not ever heard of them in junior high, and all of a sudden some sophomore pops up and he's doing real well. So that's a tribute to you, and your kids have worked real hard in the room. And I appreciate your thoughts tonight with doing the interview. And one thing I do know is that you got your hands full with the Hobie twins.
I've known that for years. Trust me.
I had them in here, and I could tell just in a very short period of time that they're a handful, but they seem like that they're leaders in the room, and really seem to work pretty hard.
They're great kids. They really are. They'll talk your ear off. We've gone out to Valentine the last few summers for a camp, and we love that camp. But on the trip out there, at least 2 of those years, they sat with me, and I tell you what, they'll talk nonstop for 5 hours till you get there. So, and it's funny too. Sometimes they get together back and forth, but they are great kids. They love wrestling. That's one of the nice things. You got kids that like wrestling and go out and they're tough and all that, but these kids actually love it. I mean, they know the great wrestlers out there at the college level and international level. I mean, they name names and talk about it. So, that's one thing's impressive, that they love it so much they
keep track of it, no matter what level they're at. Yeah.
Sure. So,
well, good luck the rest of the season, Coach.
All right, thanks.
It's nice seeing you. And I'm going to be there at Bennington this weekend too. So
okay.
Get your game face on.
All right.